Hey there, and thanks for coming to hang out on a limb with Gabby Allen. It's just me today. With the holiday and everything, holidays, because there are many of them, I am kind of taking a break from interviewing people, but that will definitely start back up in January. And so I thought that I would take today to just kind of, wow, it looks like that's part of my hair, and it's not. Anyway, talk about writing during the holidays. I know that this can be a super busy time. You have a lot to do. You have going to relatives' house, maybe. You have a lot of meals that you're making, possibly. I currently have a child home from college, as well as, making Thanksgiving breakfast, which I know not a lot of people do. But we do Thanksgiving breakfast and Christmas breakfast to make sure that if you can't make dinner because you have other family that you have to go see, then you definitely have some kind of meal with us. I don't know why the lighting is going from yellow to white, but I look like I'm strobing. Not quite sure what's going on with there. Maybe if I turn a little bit, maybe. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about writing during the holidays. So, just as a quick thing, um, one of the things that you can definitely do for yourself is not always look for chunks of time. I know some people feel like, well, if I don't have a full hour, I'm not even going to start. Or if I don't have, a 3 hour block, I'm not even going to start. If I know that I have to start dinner in 20 minutes, I'm not even going to start. And the fact of the matter is that you can start. You can take 5 minutes here. You can take 10 minutes there. You can just go ahead and jot down some ideas. I often have sticky notes that I will take around the house with me and write down different things. I have notebooks. I have small computer. Called a free write. And so you can just kind of type a little bit to yourself to kind of keep your hand in that manuscript. A lot of times, if you don't keep your hand in the manuscript, you have to go back and read it all over again to find out what you were doing in the first place. Sorry about the dogs barking, but they're, excited that someone has just walked in the door. So they'll stop in a second. No worries about that. Um, as far as, getting things done, if you do 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, you'll be able to amass pages. So maybe not, 5,000 words in a day, maybe not 1,000 words at a time, but the more that you can keep yourself into the manuscript, the more that you're able to kind of keep your brain rolling on what the story is about. I do have a friend who completely writes out of order. And so as she's going along, she writes this scene, and then she writes the scene in chapter 12, and then she writes the scene in chapter 3. And then she puts them all together and bridges them with transitions to make sure that the story is flowing correctly. I personally write more linearly. So I have to start at the beginning and go through the end. And so with that, the more that I can keep myself in touch with the story, the more that I can make sure that I am touching it every day, it keeps it rolling in my brain. It'll keep it, present, so that you're thinking about the characters and you're considering what maybe comes next, writing down ideas for scenes that are coming up, scenes that you want to add in. And then that gets you to the end. I really, yes, I go on retreats. I go on 3 and 4 day retreats with friends, and we write like the whole time. I have done retreats where I've written 25, 35,000 words in a 4 day weekend. I cannot keep that up. on a daily basis. There are some people who do, they write 8 to 9,000 words a day. That is awesome. You do you. But as we've talked about before, there are as many ways to do this as there are people doing it. And so sometimes, as long as you are making forward progress, you're going to eventually get to the end. You're going to eventually get to a spot where you can put those two beautiful words, the end, which I highly recommend that you actually do. Now, you don't have to send it that way. Maybe you don't publish it that way. It doesn't say the end unless you wanted to. But as far as making sure that through the holidays you're writing, you can take 5 minutes. I have an island in my kitchen. I have taken my smaller computer and set it up on the island. And as I am, watching noodles boil or whatever, I am, writing a couple words here or there. Is it a little more disjointed when I am editing? Sometimes, yes. I won't say that it's as flowing as it is if I have huge chunks of time. But definitely during the holidays, I find that if I don't do a little bit here and there, and then it's been, 5, 6, 7 days since I've touched the manuscript, I have to go back and remind myself of what I was writing in the first place. Which, even when I write daily, I will usually go back and look at, the last couple of paragraphs or the last scene to make sure that I remember what comes next, and get my brain going. But that can take like 2 of your 5 minutes. And if you're doing, 10 5-minute sessions a day, you're writing for 50 minutes. I do have a full-time job, so it's not like I can write all day long. I also, have some administrative stuff that I try to do as far as groups and newsletters and that kind of thing. So that's trickled in there too. But if I don't have a book, then there's no point in having a newsletter for me. As far as being an author, I can tell you over and over again that I'm writing, but if I don't have something to present, then I'm going to be out readers, because I'll have promised that something is going to be done, which I did, and I shouldn't have. I had wanted the next Tallygraver mystery book, which I write under Misty Simon, to be out in October. It's not. Therefore, obviously, that didn't happen. There's been a lot of stuff going on in life, and life happens too. But sometimes, as much as I enjoy writing escape for readers, I also write for escape for myself sometimes. If something big is going on, taking 10 minutes to myself to write out, a happy ending can really make a difference in my attitude towards whatever's going on. And I love writing. So being able to do it in those small pockets of time can really, excuse me, excuse me, writing in those small pockets of time can really make a difference, as far as, making sure that your story is consistent, that you are consistent, and that you're enjoying yourself. If you have something huge going on that day and you don't have 5 minutes, that is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you can take the 5 minutes, maybe don't cut yourself off from writing just because you don't have a 3-hour block somewhere. When my kid was in dance, I used to take what's called an Alpha Smart with me, because it's a small little word processor that there's no internet. It's a whopping 4 lines of text at a time. It is the keyboard and a little screen, and that's it. But it fit in the front seat with me, and I would just type away for the 45 minutes while dance was going on. And then I had something that made me feel productive. So I guess that's kind of the thing, is that, if you feel productive during the holidays, then you're not going to go into January thinking, I haven't done a thing, I haven't written in a month and a half. Where do I even start? You have already started. Now you're just continuing. So I hope that you have a wonderful set of holidays. I will be back next week with or without a guest. We'll be talking about maybe editing. Maybe we'll be talking about character development. Who knows? It just depends on what I'm feeling that day. We're going a little free form for the next couple of weeks, just until January comes around, because I know a lot of people are busy. I'm going to keep these short also, since it's just me. They're, probably going to be 10 minutes or so, maybe just a jump start to get you rolling right on into getting that story done. I would love to see them. I would love for you to be able to produce things and make them shine. And so, but first you have to write it, because, even as Nora Roberts says, you can't edit a blank page. And if you are worried about the blank page, one of the things that you can do is just start. There are no wasted words as far as writing goes. Everything can be edited. I know that I struggle with the first sentence. I won't lie. If it's not good, then I have a hard time moving past that. I've tried different methods. It's just who I am. So I have made time for that. And once I have the first line, then I run. But if that's all I'm doing for those 5 minutes while I'm cooking and stirring the noodles, it's all progress. And I think progress is one of the most beautiful things on a book, besides writing the end. So I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, 3 a.m., whenever it is that you're listening or watching to this. Or that didn't make any sense. Whether 3 a.m., whenever you're listening to or watching this, I hope that the rest of your day is awesome, and that you do give yourself those 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And then when you do get those chunks of 2 hours or 3 hours, you'll already be in the story and you don't need to talk yourself into it. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you. See you next time. Bye bye.